Hello, I'm Krista Jarrard with the Center for Systemic Healing at Life's Evolutionary Edge. And I'm really excited to be here today with you and speaking about this extraordinary time we're in, a time like no other, where we are moving into a new consciousness as we are moving out of an old consciousness. So it is beyond intense and remarkable and many times overwhelming, definitely myself included. So as I was getting ready to do this today, I was thinking it's been about 10 years that I've been talking, just adding the byline, systemic healing at life's evolutionary edge. And when it first came to me, it was like, oh yeah, that feels good, that feels right. And now it's so on point. I mean, because that is the point that we are at. We are sitting um, in this edge time. We're all edge walkers right now, whether you're out there yet or not. So you will be, because there's only moving through. And so it's helpful for me to have the background with the astrology. And and I've been tracking this time probably since the 80s. I remember having conversations with people then, my sisters, my very, very close friends and best friends. Um, and we knew it was something, but it was so far off, even though it felt like it was happening. So a lot of energy came in the 80s, as did the 60s and the 70s. But each one was a little bit more embodied, a little bit more real. So, anyway, I remember talking about, the shift. And here we are. And we didn't even know what the shift specifically was. It wasn't as branded and on trend as it is today, but here we are. And at life's evolutionary edge. So I was going to talk about how constellation work is so relevant. It's so relevant because we're always working with those edge states of transformation and inclusion, including what's present. That really is a level of something, if you've experienced it, there is nothing else like it. And because we're working with the family line, we're working with the family line. We're working with that morphogenic field, that morphogenetic field that has included people. It's how humanity has been registered on this planet, how it is organized, how we keep moving forward. So anything we're expecting to have better is all going to come through the DNA. No matter what your destination, what your itinerary is, what your ideal endpoint is, there's nothing that isn't going to come through the DNA. And so it can't be out here because we still have so many, it's just, there's a whole world of people and some very intelligent people that are thinking it's going to happen there and we're going to be in there. So it's going to, until it's not happening like that anymore. If there is a shift, what do I know? But until it's not, we're here. We 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 are a biological being. We're a biological being. We are our biological event in the process of becoming with the earth. So the shift is something that the earth is moving through. And we are moving through with it, with her. So when I say a shift like no other, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, yeah, we've had different ages of unity and duality. This is its own movement to something really, really new. So anyway, let me reel it back in, because it's easy just to go out there and then we're lost in space. And we can't afford to be lost in space. We are space. We are in space. We are in relationship to that great Mother Gaia and in her eternal embrace. So just as I talk about the family field, that morphogenic field of belonging that keeps us connected wherever we are. As I said, there's nowhere we can be where that family field is not. That's true with our relationship with Gaia. So we are in her domain, and for me, that has really been one of the biggest shifts is to have that really come in on a very, very deep level. It's so grounding. It's not in the head. And so we're moving through this time of intense polarity and separation and polarization, having extraordinarily painful experiences. That's moving out, and it's reflecting our natural disconnect. It wasn't a natural disconnection, our original disconnection and separation from nature, our original place. So part of everything that's moving with this pain, because we're moving through the history of the planet, through the history of all of our lives, and at the base of all of that is our original separation from the natural world. This is happening at the same time. It could be in the next breath. At the same time that we are welcoming in a new consciousness of love that is reflecting our original essence, our natural state of being before the separation, in that before time. So this is, once you can align with that, that is extraordinary. That's extraordinary to be able to be in relationship to it that way. It helps. It doesn't make anything particularly. It brings more grace, and we're all looking for more ease and grace. But as you're going to hear me say, this is about being embodied. So anything I'm sharing with you has come through really, really difficult times. Me, really difficult times. As I know, it is you. And we're not in this alone. You know, that some of these sayings sound corny, but we're not. It's impossible. And there was a point in time where I felt so completely alone. The only thing I could do was to dig as deep into every resource, every life, every whatever, the earth mostly, nature, being outside, that I was able to work with. It's impossible, I'm alone. Even with all, whatever, 25 years working with the ancestors, I wasn't doing it. So it's big when you start going in, and that's different for everyone. But it's not going to happen up here. There are shifts that need to change with that, but it's coming in the body, because the body is part of how we're here, as part of our soul and our evolving spirit is our physical, our resplendent intelligence. And so there's this divine collaboration that's happening. And this is happening through the body. So through the feelings and through the emotion. And so we can actually have the experience that we're here to have. That's kind of what I'm with right now. It's like, this is going to shift off. I want to have this. If I want to have it, I actually want to be able to feel, and I want to feel how things are. But I'm always out ahead, because that's just my nature. It's not an easy thing, because that's how it is. That's how it is. There are people that are edgewalkers, and they are working through just what is coming naturally for them, how they work through it. But the more people we understand, about, the more that is experienced in the collective, the easier it is to experience it. So that, for sure, I mean, that's just part of quantum physics. The more you observe something, the more it becomes observable. So anyway, I got to reel myself in again. It's going to get long. So the family. So the family field, this is it. If you speak with any Indigenous person, especially during this time, any person of color, because if I'm talking about DNA, we're, a Native American person, an African person, a South American person, they're not going to think that yeah, I'm going to go to a sweat lodge and I'm going to do these mantras and I'm going to shift my consciousness at the level that they know we are at. So it's our own DNA. That's the thing. We can take a lot of information. We can take that and just the core pieces, for ourselves to understand how it moves through. And no, we can't go there. We have to move through our own DNA. And constellation work in general in this country is not working, particularly with people of color. So because we have that, European source point, which is a whole story in itself, because we have to remember that Bert Hellinger brought this work through, and others, but it's Bert Hellinger, brought this work through in his experience working in post-war Germany. So I always say that this work grew out of the Holocaust. It was healing from that source. And when you're in Europe, you can feel how different it feels over there compared to here, as far as where they are collectively. So, so you can, I have lots of videos about how it is and why it is and how it works, and it didn't start with you. That's old business for me. It's remarkable, but it's old business. What I want to share is the work I'm doing right now that has been informed by the ancestors, has been informed by my relationship to, my clients working, and that there has been a shift back there. So the consciousness that we're connecting to, of course, constellation work is not a psychic reading. It's the DNA come alive, the DNA come alive in the room, if you will, in the space, in the constellating space. But the shift that's happened back there is remarkable. And I just have started seeing it. And my clients have been having, very different, extraordinary experiences. Because I'm usually working with people that have, we check in to see who I'm working with right now. But anyway, they're not in the body. That consciousness is more available to connect to the energies of this unified time that we're moving into than we are. So yes, we chose to be here. Everybody's here. There's nothing happening like this in the universe, our corner of it right now. So, so yes, we're all here for that reason. So the shift is they're more accessible. So it used to be we would set it up and go into the field, and the person, the event was very intense. It was palatable. Not that it still isn't. Not that still isn't. I mean, that is what we're moving through. But the difference is they're, instead of them being down on the ground, and we acknowledge that, and in that acknowledgement, then they can come up and take their place, which relieves us of having to be following them. Many, many times we come into the field and the ancestor is right there to meet. And it's rarely the mother, father, or even the grandfather or mother. It's some generations back, but not always. And the difference is they're in a much more whole space and much more accessible. So it has everything to do with where my client is. But this, to go from that to starting as a starting point to this, that's a huge shift. That's a huge shift. So this ancestral reorientation session that I'm working with my clients now, is that's what's usually showing up. And so that's my big news. I don't know anyone else in particular that's talking about that. So it's quite something. It's quite something to experience. And I would love to chat more with you about that. Just trying to think of, because I'm really off the cuff with this, but that's what felt good for today. So anyway, I think I want to leave it there. I do no. It started because they saw us struggling. I started receiving that shift information back there because they saw us struggling and they see where we are. And they have a vested interest. They have a vested interest in us. This is everything. This is the whole line. We're going back to the beginning of time, and of course it splits, and who knows, but just keep it simple. Back to the beginning of time, that's where we are. And back to the beginning of our lineages. And the ancestors have always guided the way through any time of huge transition. It's how it's always been. And so to not see that is huge. It's so painful. It's so painful. It's painful for them, which makes it painful for me. But it's not when we get in there and do the work. But to, if humanity, we're talking about everything. We're talking about the resilience, the beauty, the art, the culture, all of the feelings that we have had. That is rare in all creation, to be having this, to be able to be here in this paradise. So they're like right there and waiting to be mediated and facilitated and clear this up. Because even once this is cleared, then it's still a huge movement. But none of that happens until we get to work with that. So I'm glad I got to that last part. That's most important. And so, we are the leading edge of consciousness, just as they were every generation back. We're no better. They're no better. There just is that isness of moving life forward into all that is yet to come. So I thank you for your time and investing. We're going to have to just thank you. And if this is helpful to you, please like and subscribe to this channel, and visit my website. And I do offer a free 20-minute consultation. But take care. All right. Thank you.